Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally received access to the secret scrims of one Kvoth Jones, the Jones killer George, and the other, his opponent also Matador the Great. We're in. It only took X amount of minutes. I'm not going to tell you how many to get in, but we're finally in. The devs are out to get us. The players are trying to stop us, but there is no stopping the Age of Mythology action on this day, as we've got ourselves Matador in the right-hand corner of the map, the red color, playing as Freyr, and on the left-hand corner of the map, in the blue color, playing as Noir, it is indeed Kvoth. We're on the map Alheim, and it's game one. This is arguably the most anticipated matchup from the group stages. I mean, you could put money on, or you could say that maybe it's Rappel versus Chemo. You could say maybe it's Grass versus Tunison. But for me, it's Kvoth versus Matador. Two training partners. These guys go at it quite a bit. They know each other's game inside and out. So there's no tricks here. It's all going to be solid play. And whoever has the better game finds the dub. In the top side of the map, we do have the relic here, the Titan's treasure. A couple of good relics on this one. Over here, we've got ourselves a Black Lotus, going to be boosting up those farms by 10%. Always nice there as well. Over onto this side, we've got ourselves the Gambantine's Odin Wand, going to be boosting up or reducing the tech cost in the temple. That's actually a really nice one there for our Freyr buddy. And finally, down the bottom here, we've got the Shenong's Aqua Whip. If you guys want fast farms, if you guys want some relics here, this is a really, really good map for a certain farmer. If you want to be that person. Now, unfortunately for both of these guys, the food income is not going to be that necessary here. We can probably start talking about a little bit about what the game plans here might be for these players, as we've got Hal 2 to come through for Kvoth. This is no surprises here. It's his style. He wants to get the big fat wall down, a nice fast advance time. Probably going to grab a forward town center if he can, or even maybe go in for a bit of a classical fight, spam out a whole bunch of Cheongchi. So we'll see how that goes. As the Pioneer queued up, he's already got himself the Divine Light coming through, as he's sitting right on top of this relic. Kvoth, he knows how important this is. However, he has not spotted the relic over on this side. So he doesn't know exactly how good his farms are going to be. Like, if you get yourself this relic and you get yourself to flood control, all of a sudden you're getting yourself 25% boosted food income rate over the norm, which is an insane amount of boost. As Hal 2 comes through, drops down the peasants immediately to try and get a bit of a boost on the food income. This is a really, really big boost to your income here. Like, when you compare actually, we can do it. Let's do a little quick comparison. 4 villages extra gathering for 2 minutes. Let's just call it, I know it's not 1, but it's just easier for 1. I'm doing math on stream. Like, let's just call it about 400 resources or something a minute. Something like that. Maybe that's too many. That's too many. Let's call it 240 resources a minute. So you get like 400 and something total-ish just from this. So it's a big, big boost early on. It gives you a lot of extra things. As into the main base here, Matador going to be dropping down the Asgardian Bastion immediately. This is relatively stock standard here for the Freyr player. You can try and sneak it up somewhere, but in fact, it's probably not a terrible idea to sneak it up somewhere. All you got to do is get the walls up on a position nice and early, and you can get out and you can put this one out in the middle of nowhere. That can be a good way to go, as the Cheongchi trying to get just a little bit of damage here as well. as he's going to be pulling out and off to the races. Now, the problem here for Kvoth is he does use his clay peasants on a position where his resources are going to expire, so he misses out on a little bit of resources there with walking time, but nonetheless. Berserk now rubbing into the main base, trying to get a little bit of scouting information, trying to see what's happening. It's already a town center up for Kvoth, so that means, well, whatever Matador wants to do, he is now going to be able to do it. He finishes up the Asgardian hill fort here, or he's going to. I wouldn't be surprised to just see him run straight down to this town center and try and grab it. He's got 8 villagers on food for the moment, but he can very easily, now that the Asgardian hill fort's up, he can very easily just take the villagers off of food, go over onto the wood, and then just be good to go. As Matador move into the left here, he's going to look to put some walls down. Even if he just gets a nice wall off maybe to here and off to here as well, or whatever. He's going for this town center after all is said and done. It's kind of wild. Thanks for the 2 months that fly like Django. This is kind of wild here from Matador. He's trying to get set up on a position so maybe he can get a full all-in over here and maybe attack the town center with a big fat Ghoul and Bursty. It's not a bad town center by any stretch, but like a Ghoul and Bursty attack with, say, Heroic Age, A-Gear, Tempest, this could be really, really powerful for Matador to make this work. It's the Cheongchi just wandering around. We do have ourselves the Machine Workshop out. And one thing here for Kvoth that is really, really strong is the fact that, well, Freyr only wants to build infantry units. And while he can build the Huskar, which are good versus those Fire Archers, while he can do that, the Fire Archers are still good versus the Huskar once you get enough of them. You just need a good front line. So he can spam these Fire Archers out, and then all of a sudden, Matador needs to take really good fights. Needs to play very, 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 very simply, so to speak. Or smartly. As the army does come through, we'll be able to break through this wall, denying this defense here from Kvoth. Kvoth a little bit slow on that wall there as he's going to be pulling back over here, losing a villager. Nice and early. Good pick there. Another villager going down. There is a significant villager advantage right now for Kvoth, but when you're playing Norse, it does and it doesn't matter. Especially Freyr. If you're just a little bit behind on villagers with Freyr, it doesn't really matter because your economy is sort of, it's very, very cheap. As an attempt to take down this wall as well, coming through. I would like to see, instead of trying to take this wall down, just putting a wall through this little gap. If you get that wall down, smack, then all of a sudden, this position can't be locked off very easily. Kvoth is going to have to take it down himself to get up his wall. To finish his wall back off, and we are going to be seeing Matador managing to finish this position off, looking to come into the middle here, getting some more pressure on. Lots and lots of food in the bank. Not a whole lot of gold, but there is a fantastic gold mine over here, and in Kvoth fashion, he's out on that second gold mine super early. It's very, very safe because of the walls over there. At the moment, Matador, he doesn't really know what's happening. He's got no idea, as I am now realizing I've got my friend or foe colors on. Excuse me while I set the settings correctly for the Casteroonie. So Matador, I mean, he could move through. He could knock this down. He could try and get in onto this position here and try and lock off those gold mines. But realistically, the most important thing for him to do is actually to get in and lock this off. Lock Kvoth into his base back here. Don't allow this town center. In fact, even come and grab this town center is a perfectly fine way to go here at the moment, as the Dow Swordsman coming through, the Fire Archers on the way. There's still so many resources in the bank here for Kvoth, as the Huskar are just going to be pulling back for the time being. Walls coming up over here. Walls through the center of the map as well. Kvoth getting these walls up is a big deal. This is really, really good for him. It takes a long time to get over here and actually knock these down and then secure this town center. And now we've got Golmang coming through as the wall gets broken in. yet again. Another peasant getting sniped down is a nice little win there for Matador, trying to keep things nice and close as he's got to pull back. The fire archers don't have themselves ballistics, so not the biggest of deals. Can just run in and run out, no problems. As now the Huskarl can actually split off and start moving to the right as he does damage over onto the left. The big weakness, so to speak, of the Chinese army is how slow it is. And we'll see if he can make that happen. His abundance is also coming through. The technology available to HAL 2 going to be boosting up the economy even more there. As we do have a couple of rams now coming through for Matador. He wants to put pressure on right away. These rams, the purpose of these is going to be to basically break through a forest protection, break through a ballet. Kvoth's got to be very careful here. He's still got so many resources in the bank, not having spent them. But those are going to get spent very, very quickly, I'm sure, now that he's in the heroic age. As I imagine, we'll probably see a ballet getting dropped down somewhere. More military camps coming through. We've got the Dao swordsman on the way as well. As the Chongqi is still just sitting over here. We've actually got the Herzog on patrol back in this position, just trying to defend. As the rams to come through, they will break down these walls nice and fast. We've got ourselves the Ring Oath technology coming down in, but not enough favor to actually get himself a second charge of this one just yet. That's the Tao Wu looking to push forward. Not really a hefty amount of throwing axemen just yet. If we take a quick look at how many Dao swordsmen are in, there's 14. This is a really, really strong front line against what Matador's got. Matador needs a hefty amount of throwing axemen here. And not only that, we're also going to start seeing some White Horse cavalry starting to come through. But Huskarl, not the worst here against those 19% hack armor cavalry units. As Matador now realizing he needs to move over to this side and start locking this position off. There is an opening here as well as the army comes in to take down the wooden gate. Up onto this top side, bunch of Great Halls coming in. A-gear has been clicked through. There's a ballet onto this position as well. Potentially here, with the walls set up like this, there's a world where maybe, just maybe, Matador can get this town center and have an offensive ballet available. Not a ballet, offensive Gulen Bursty available to himself. As the ballet will get sniped down here. He's got to not get distracted by those White Horse cavalry. Units returning back up onto this side as Kvoth says, I ain't defending. It's time to attack. There's nothing up here to prevent these raids. Villages going to be getting taken down. Town center going down as well. Potentially Gulen Bursty going to need to get dropped here. A-gear gets dropped down. Gulen Bursty in, targeting down the Tao Wu. The villagers can repair this up if need be, as the rams to come through over here as well to finish this position off. The Kualfu trying to repair it up. Not going to be enough. Is this going to be a defended position? Answer is yes, but Kvoth gets that Gulen Bursty out of there. He is taking a fairly less than good fight over here, but he does clean this up. He can grab this town center if need be, but he's just instead saying it's time to get damage done. The ballet over here going down, but villagers under a lot of pressure over onto this side. Berserk's coming through. We've got a couple of units chasing the Dao swordsman away. The rock giant coming up here to help defend as the Chongqi goes down. White Horse cavalry going down as well. It's an incredibly messy mid-game here as the medium Huskarl going up against Dao swordsmen. The Dao swordsmen don't have any specific upgrades, but they are heavy. As the villagers come through, managing to snipe down the portable ram. That's the pushing power almost gone there. And Matador might need to think about regrouping here. He's got a significant military population lead at the moment. As the Huskarl to retreat back. Whole bunch more Dao swordsmen to come in. Zhengtia coming through as well to try and limit the damage or limit the effectiveness of those rock giants, which Matador's going to want to go for. As another ballet to come up onto this position as well. We've got the Asgardian hill fort to come through, but the big position that matters here for Matador is around on to this position. Once this Asgardian hill fort is up, he's going to need to just I don't know, spam walls over here and just get in onto this position, because once the town center's up, life is going to start becoming very, very tricky here for Matador. He does still have a Mythic Age power spike. He doesn't have to finish the game right here. So if he pulls back, he's a little bit behind on villagers for the time being, but not the biggest of deals. As a couple of units to come in and try and deny the town center, the HP going down very, very quickly here. As the town center gets denied into the main base, a couple of units are going. Throw an action, going to easily take out those down swordsmen. Villagers in the main base going down, as well as Kvoth looks like he is crumbling. He has to drop the forest protection, and now Matador can pull back. He's got nothing to worry about with forest protection. He can swing around onto this right-hand corner and make Kvoth's life a living hell here. We'll see what his plan's going to be. Even just throwing a wall over here and leaving, getting himself the upgraded walls is all he really needs to do. As he's now getting himself out now some Goaty here as well to snipe down the Cheongchi. Town center coming up for Kvoth, trying to force it up. There's not really any siege in for Matador at the moment. And Matador decides not the right-hand corner of the map where all the gold mines are. He is going where Kvoth least expects it. No units over here. Everything around on the right-hand corner of the map. A couple of units in the main base. But he's going to be able to push straight in onto this town center. I mean, if he can catch the villagers from retreating away, this is a really, really big deal. However, just killing the town center, that doesn't matter that much. Gold is what is important in this game. As the White Horse Cavalry coming through, they're going to be decent against these units. Matador recognizes that, retreats back. We got the Rock Giant beating away at this one. He's about to have himself that Granite Maw, so he's going to start eating up the town center. As the Hill Fort coming through, a little bit too slow, however, as with the Jiangxia, the Pioneers, everything else, this is going to be a really tough one to hold, or to continue to push through. As the portable battering ram up onto the top side, Matador is doing a fantastic job of attacking on multiple fronts in this game. This town center looks like it's about to go down. Kvoth not paying attention there. And in the 17th minute of this game, Kvoth decides the game is done and he taps out. A masterclass here of movement with this army. Kvoth almost managed to put this game into an insanely difficult position here for Matador. He got out the Tempest, he got out the Gullenburst, he got a huge amount of villagers killed off, but he just could not stabilize and get himself to that power spike that Nuwa needs to find wins in this game. But a well-played game here for Matador into game number 1. We're going to try and jump very quickly into game number 2. We had some technical difficulties, so hopefully we can jump into that one and see how it all goes. But we'll get that one going as soon as we possibly can. Game number 2. In the left-hand corner, we've got our main man, Kvoth, loading up with the Isis here. In the right-hand corner, we have Matador playing as Hades. The map is, of course, Bamboo Grove. As it starts off with a nice little deer herding experience. This is, this cloud of fog or whatever is very close to the ground. This is what we sign up for, right? When we're watching a competitive Age mythology. Everybody loves a nice little smackaroo. Spotted deer is being pretty spotted right now. Not happy about getting sent close to the town center for his death. And now he's going in. Everyone's going in. And there we go. As the race is on to see how fast you can herd all of the animals in under the town center at the 1 minute and 10 second mark right now. This could be the slowest herding we've ever seen in a game of Age mythology, competitive game. Oh, and the deer moves the wrong way as he gets sent off to the right-hand side. The spotted deer over here is still not close enough. And he gets sent back. He dies very far away from the town center. And finally, one last deer. He's being very, very anti getting herded here. He's getting outplayed by Gaia, right? He's getting so outplayed as he stops right in his tracks, and now he's getting sent back in. At the end, all that can be said and done here in a game of Age mythology is Who won here, really? Who won here? Who won in this moment? I'll tell you who won in this moment. Age Mythology won in this moment. Meanwhile, while that's all been going on, Kvoth is starting to get himself some nice obelisks up around the map. He's got 2 obelisks. He's grabbing himself some goats here, sending him back home. Matador is looking for those goats. He might spot one over here. His spidey senses a tickle. He sees it, and it's now back as Matador is starting to clean up right now. There's a couple of goats up onto this side. He's searching around for the other one. As now the priest coming over and says, no, that goat is mine. No, get back here. This is mine right now. And there we go. The obelisk is up. The goat is stolen back. The Kataska boss is searching around the back for the back goats here, which there are normally spawns of goats behind the base on this one. Spawns of goats over here as well. As the granary is now up, and Matador is still not advancing to the next stage. What is he doing? Am I confused? I'm confused. Is this some new Fandangle build order? There's no hand axe. There's no pickaxe. There is Vaults of Arabus in for Matador. I mean, against Isis, there's not really much point in a ridiculously fast advance time unless you want to deny town centers. Now, you can get some nice early pressure with early Achilles, early Ajax, and all the other good stuff. But it is a bit odd. And we are going to be seeing the Ares coming through for Matador. So this is a late advance time. Ares, he still doesn't have himself the hand axe and pickaxe, which makes me a little bit like on edge. This makes me a little bit on edge. Because I get what the idea is with the later advance. It basically means if we go for a later advance, we're getting more resources in, right? Unless we were to go for a fast second town center, a later advance is better in terms of total resources. If we go for a really fast advance and get a second town center up, we will be able to catch up on the extra resources and be in front on the extra resources if we do that, right? But if we are going to go for a very late advance like Matador is doing, like Kvoth is doing, then generally speaking, it's good to also grab yourself some economic upgrades here as well. But Kvoth, he's gone through Anubis. He's dropping a barracks. This is going to be a slight, I imagine a very slight spammage of Spearman into a town center grab, which is very, very dangerous. The town center spawns we haven't talked about just yet. This is one of the spawns on Bamboo Grove. It's very unique. 2 settlements right next to each other. Same over here as well. And Matador is grabbing a town center. He doesn't even try to hide it. He says, hello there, Mr. Obelisk, and all the other good things. I am going to grab that. We see the serpents coming down. Villagers retreating away. As the priest also coming in here as well. This is very, very wild. And the town center might actually get sniped down here to boot. Meanwhile, Spearman 5 queued up for Kvoth at the moment. As the Pharaoh is healing up the serpent here. Meanwhile, Ajax and Achilles targeting down Cleopatra. As Cleopatra will go down. Villagers need to retreat back. And Matador, all of a sudden, in a very, very difficult position. Achilles trying to chase down the Anubites. He goes for the jump, but then they do decide to randomly turn around. Ajax turns in here, tries to get onto the Anubite, not quite able to. Great control from Kvoth thus far. Town settlement there, or settlement there, town center, gets denied. Achilles is down. Ajax is down. And Matador now has to play a very, very strange game. And Kvoth actually just says, hey, now it's my turn for a town center. Now it's my turn for a town center. As the Anubites are going to be pushing in here, taking everything out. The one thing here... Oh, a couple of goats getting sniped up over here. The one thing that Matador does have right now is that the fact that Kvoth is actually going for a town center, even though Matador's lost a lot of resources here in the early game, there is a really big... Oh, nice snipes there. There is a really nice attack here that he can do with a whole bunch of Cyclops. Oh, as the Anubite gets stuck. Thank you so much for the 26 months there, X-Solo. Appreciate all the support, guys. Means a lot. Oh, oh, and the Anubite jumps. Archery range coming up here for Matador as well. There's a couple of hoplites going after the spearman. He will be able to actually... Will he get the win? A couple of the... Oh, two spearmen sitting idly by right now. We're getting some close-up contact here. Those are very low HP. They are bleeding. They've been poked many a time. And the spearmen are out of there. There's Matador pushing out of his base right now. The problem is for Matador and for the Greek players in general when playing against Egyptian is basically one town center versus two town center gameplay only works if you haven't really taken any damage. And Matador is literally crumbling here. These Anubites are just getting so much value and Matador just says... I'm out. I had enough. He doesn't want to play it anymore, and I don't blame him. That was absolutely brutal, and I think Matador learnt a big lesson here in greedy town center grabbing against ISIS is literally one barracks, 3 priests and a pharaoh, maybe 4, 2 Anubites, plague of serpents, and pure chaos there for Matador. Well, leveling the series 1-1 right now. We'll move into game number 3 and see if we're going to see more of the same as Kvoth. Very upset, it seems, about that first loss. He comes back with a vengeance here. Let's get into game number 3. And we're back with game numero 3. In the left-hand corner of the map, Kvoth goes in with the Ra. In the right-hand corner of the map, Matador goes in with Set. The map is Marsh. Just realized I said that today was Wednesday. It's actually Tuesday today, but it's almost Wednesday for me because I'm living in the future. Ha! Alrighty, relics on the map. Let's see if anything is going to be in particularly good or bad. We've got Tower of Cestus. Just a little note on this relic. This relic is about to become insane. I just remember this relic because this is going to become like a really, really good relic very, very shortly. We'll see. We'll see what exactly happens with the old patch changes, but that relic is going to become very, very good, I think. Up onto this top side, there is another one. We've got Sharon's Obel, going to be boosting or giving some resources back if you lose any villages. Always a nice one to have, especially when you're playing against Ra, who's got the Locust and all the other good stuff there. Over on this one, we've got the Titan's Treasure. This is going to be making the upgrades to the next age a little bit cheaper. Over here, we've got the Gungnir Odin's Spear. This is really nice for Kvoth. This is going to allow him, while he's not going to have the speed, which Matador Spearmen are going to have, it will allow him to have an advantage over what the set player's got with regard to Spearmen if he wants to go into them. So that's always nice there. On the bottom side of the map, there's Cathar of Apollo here with a plus 10% movement speed for the villagers. And finally, we've got ourselves Dwarven Calipers. I love this relic. I think this is super underappreciated. Siege, in my opinion, is the tiniest bit overpriced for what it does. Right now, the tiniest bit overpriced. And I think a 20% reduction makes the siege weapons really, really good. Really nice. Beautiful. I want to build them. That relic is a nice one, especially in this matchup. If you want to go for one of the several strategies that Set can do that require siege towers or catapults or something like that. As Kvoth going to be putting up his second monument. This is something Kvoth likes to do. He gets up 2 monuments. He advances a little bit later and makes things happen like that. There's the granary coming down on the back there. Temple coming up for Matador as well. And just the 1 monument thus far for Matador. So he's going for a faster advance time. Generally speaking, if you get up at I think 4 minutes is your, like, quote-unquote safe option if you're the Set player here, just to ensure you got units out to go for a town center denial if you want. But if you aren't going for the town center denial, which you don't need to go for, if you aren't going for that, then it doesn't really matter. You just want to get your town center up. You don't really have much to worry about. You got all the advantages here with Set, with the animals and all the other good stuff. So we'll see how it's going to go as the village is coming up onto this left-hand side, going to be dropping walls and all the other good stuff. Got ourselves the Hands of the Pharaoh queued up. A couple of priests coming out as well for Kvoth. The good thing about playing Ra is, well, on the one hand, you want these priests for more vision, for some defensive help while you're trying to get up a town center. But more importantly, those are never going to become useless in this game. They can empower everything. And all of a sudden, all of the weaknesses of the Egyptian economy, like only gathering at 0.85 gold a second, ends up meaning that they're going to be gathering much, much quicker. And we do see a couple of pigs here have been stolen away, as the priest will walk over here, will grab that Gugnir Odin spear, will drop a obelisk. He's got to be a little bit careful here as the classical age is now in for Matador. Looks like Matador is indeed going for a fast second town center. Now, the back town centers here in this matchup, it does give a lot of room for play here for the Ra player, because you have to move from all the way at the back into the center of the map to actually kind of do anything. You have to move all the way from the back into the center of the map. That's tough when your opponent's got things out on the map. So Matador here, maybe his best play is to actually drop the town center and then drop some barracks and then try and get out on the map, try and grab all of the hunt in the middle of the map with his priests and spearmen. Allow maybe Kvoth to do what he's going to do. Kvoth now going for his own town center a little bit later. Not the biggest of deals to get a later town center here as Ra. But he's got to make sure he goes for it. But we'll see if he's going to make his way somewhere anytime soon. As the priests over here getting taken down. Let's not pay attention to those Sphinxy boys. Gets cleaned up. That's a big little, that's a big win for Kvoth, as he's able to deny a little bit of animal conversion. And we see a barracks coming up for Matador as well, which will get scouted immediately. Monuments for the soldiers also coming through. No heroes in this base just yet. Nice distraction with the spearmen to pull back, garrisoning units into the barracks and everything else here. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the villagers need to get pulled back. Great house here as well. As the Sphinx coming in, they will be able to knock this down. He will retreat back, no problems, but gets a lot of idle time there. Yeah, he didn't grab the Tower of Cest. I don't think it's that. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's that useful on the current patch, because they've got most myth units have got high pierce armor. 10 pierce damage a second times that to 2, so it's 20 pierce damage a second when you've already got 60. It's not much. But if you're at 16 pierce damage, it's starting to feel like a lot of damage that they're doing. Anyways, I mean, it's going to be good for later in the game, though, for sure. When you have like 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 towers, all the other good stuff. As another priest gets sniped down, and unfortunately for Matador, he does have himself the villager lead right now, but he just gave away map control. Kvoth, he's got Sphinx. Nice attempt at a ghost building, not quite quick enough. He's got Sphinx. He's got Axeman. He's got Spearman. As medium spearmen to come through. Leather frame shield as well pre-queued. The Spearman getting chased up. 5.3 speed Spearman versus 5.3 speed Sphinx. The Spearman will get to safety, but it is kind of interesting watching all of that as both players pumping units out. The armory to come down. Villagers moving out across the map. I imagine we're going to see some more walls coming through here from Kvoth. He's going to slowly start securing his resources. Cheeky little priest over onto this side. There is the Pharaoh here as well who can help out. As the villagers garrisoning away, still spamming out spearmen at the moment, but a little bit short on gold here for the time being. As the priest into the middle of the map, grabbing the water buffalo. As one priest goes down, spearman poking, axeman slashing. Has to pull out of here though as this Cryo Sphinx coming in. Huge damage about to go down onto those spearmen as he's getting path blocking there as well. 2 spearmen down, pulls back. No problems just yet. There's a lot of favor in the bank here though for Matador. Question is, what's he going to use with that? Do you go into Scorpion Men with Nephthys? Do you go into maybe saving it for the Mythic Age and making Avengers or Phoenix? Are you looking for multiple shifting sands in this game? These are the questions. As Sobek, now queued up from Kvoth, he's in a fantastic position by all estimates here. I mean, right now, Matador, he's just got to be scared of these Sphinx. I think the problem is he doesn't have the Wadgets out. I think if he's got those Wadgets, then all of a sudden he can push forward. And while the Sphinx can obviously just, they won't attack ever, at least then you can just take your presence on the map, get the map control, get the walls up and all the other good stuff. The second now, queued up, the Spearmen getting caught out here, taking damage. As they get snared up once they start taking damage as well as another Spearman will end up losing its life. This one does not quite get taken out, and the rest of the Spearmen going to be running around away in their box formation. Immediately grabbing sun-dried mud brick. This is one of the strongest technologies available to Sobek and also to Egyptians in general, because it allows them to build Migdols for 425 gold. Vision down. Shifting sands clicked in. Matador says it's time to go as Eclipse is dropped down onto this side. He drops the Locust as well as all the units getting cleaned up here. And Matador's army is eviscerated. Oof. That there is what we call an oof. All of a sudden, Matador, he's going Heroic Age. Kvoth, he's going to be building Camel Riders. He's still going to be able to build himself Chariot Archers. He's pushing forward. He's got the Patsukos. He's still got a little bit of Eclipse left. Slingers getting pulled back. Of no use at the moment. Idle Villagers all over the place. There's the Heroic Age in for Matador. The one saving grace here for Matador, well, 2 saving graces, is 1, his units cost less than Kvoth's with the Monument empowerment shenanigans here, and 2, he has a villager lead. But that does not give you all the resources you just lost in army there for almost free. As the Sphinx managed to take down the Scarab with the help of those Camel Riders there. We are seeing Slings of the Sun coming in, Electron Bullets, Bowsaw, Matador trying his hardest to get himself back into this game to hold, because as soon as this wall is broken down, and there will be a Migdol stronghold over here, but as soon as this wall is broken down, the economy of Matador will be spotted. And those raids are going to be very tough to stop here. Meanwhile, over onto this bottom side, Kvoth dropping the Migdol stronghold. We do have a cheeky little rock flying in, trying to get a little bit of scouting in. It's now 3 town centers to 2 town centers. Ra with map control against Set is never a position you want to be in as the Set player. Makes it very, very tough to make anything happen. Walls coming up over onto this position to try and prolong Matador's life here. The villager advantage is slowly being removed as the camel riders continuing to charge in here. There is no heavy spearmen just yet, but a nice choke point for the time being. The other thing is you need those slings, not the sling, the heavy slingers here to actually be able to take out those chariot archers nicely. This is good though for Matador. If you've got slingers versus chariot archers, 19 range apiece, this is really, really good. With good micro here, Matador can win these fights, but equally with good micro from Kvoth, he can win the fights as well. It definitely becomes a micro contest, but when you're behind a little bit here, it's not ideal, as Matador trying to push forward here in underneath this town center. Spearmen on the top, but very few of them remaining. Heavy spearmen coming through as all the spearmen have already fallen before that one actually finishes up. Kvoth manages to hold here perfectly fine. Meanwhile, top of the map, there was a raid. All the villagers on that gold mine down. The villagers over here idle. And Kvoth is going to be able to break through all of these slingers on the front with those incredibly powerful Dark Waters Camel Riders. Pharaoh taken down. And it looks to me like Matador here is crumbling under the pressure of Kvoth. The villager difference right now, 88 to 83. Villagers going down left, right, and center. No reaction over here. He's got 14 villagers inside of the Migdol. He pulls more inside of there. No boiling oil means that the camel riders can literally just stay there and slowly take out the Migdol stronghold as well. Meanwhile, over onto the right-hand corner, 2 Migdol strongholds in the face of Matador here. But Matador attempting to fight this one out. What can he do? 148 of 200 to 207. But Tsukos getting huge damage in from the back as well. Such a tough unit to deal with for the Egyptians, for everyone really. And in that moment, Matador realizes he is incredibly far behind in this game and he will not be able to bring this one back. It all comes down to a shifting sands play. The timing just not there. He had the vision. He was watching it. He decided to click it in. He didn't have the priests in. He was going heroic age. He didn't have everything he needed to make that happen. If he'd stayed heroic at classical age, pumped units out, made sure he had the priest, maybe even brought the pharaoh in for that shifting sands play, maybe it could have gone differently. But the better play was probably, hey, have the Migdol. It's fine. Let's wait. Let's get a shifting sands play elsewhere. Maybe onto this position, maybe over onto this position, hit the villagers, retreat back out, play the game. No need to go all out, I think, in this one. But nonetheless, well played from Kvoth, up 2-1 now. However, Kvoth now out of his Egyptians. Matador is going to have free reign to pick his Norse gods, which he has quite a few remaining. So we'll jump into game 4 and see how it works. Alrighty, game number 4. In the right-hand corner of the map, Kvoth going in with the Chronos. In the left-hand corner of the map, Matador picking Thor. Matador gets himself a very, very nice spawn here. Back gold mine, forward gold mine, and he opts in to go for the Dwarven Armory. A risky move here from Matador when playing against Kronos. We'll see if it's going to work for him or not. He gets himself a couple of gatherers out onto wood nice and early, pulling the Auroch in. He's got to be careful here, otherwise that Auroch might turn around. No, he gets okay. Whoop, he is battling against the spotted deer in game number 2. Battling against the Auroch here in game number 4. As we do have the Berserk now moving forward. And the battle of the man with the wand versus the man with the axe means the man with the axe will end up winning here. Meanwhile, relics on the map. Let's have a quick look. Archimedes' Ledger. Siege population usage, -1. Over onto this side, we've got the Jade Hair. Really, really nice relic over here. In fact, amazing relic for Kvoth if he wants to go down that path. Prometheans or automatons plus Kara Ballista. Incredibly tough to deal with. Over onto this side, Scales of a Catoplopas. A little bit of myth unit damage vulnerability to pierce being increased. And finally, Blanket of Empress Zoe. A blunt axe versus a non-magic wand. Exactly. Well, the wand is kind of magical. Like, for some reason, you have this guy, and for some reason, because he's holding a wand, he gets to see further. Like, I've never seen anyone, well, a scepter, wand, whatever you want to call it. I've never seen anyone holding a wand that just gets to see further just because he's standing still. Doesn't make any sense. So it's got to be magical in some degree. Anyways, Temple is up. Kvoth. Is he going for the fast advance? Yes, he is. It's going to be a relatively quick advance here as he's starting to send villagers over onto wood, leaving 3 on food. Over onto wood here as well. Over onto this side, the temple coming up for Matador, and this is kind of a rough spot for it. It's going to get immediately scouted. In fact, it literally, before it's completed, it's scouted. So now what Kvoth can do is he can literally count to 20 once it finishes. He can go, all right, at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we're going to deconstruct. Because it takes the Hersir about that long to build. So he can just walk in, deconstruct. I mean, it hasn't even started the Hersir yet. So he could probably even walk in a little later and go for it. As there's the deconstruction. There's going to be an immediate temple over onto the other side of the map. Both gold mines are actually on this one side here as well. This could be really, really bad for Matador here. Prometheans coming through, going straight after our house as well. Just add insult to injury here. If he can take the house down, this means, well, I mean, maybe a villager can get pulled off the line there and be okay. Meanwhile, one cheeky little Promethean up to the top. Hersir queued up here already. Kara Ballista on the way, as well as alluvial clay here. The villagers pulled back. They can move up to the top gold mine. No problems for the time being, as the temple starting to get bashed down. Deconstruction does take a little bit of time to actually come out as the troll pops down. We do have a cheeky little healing spring to come out as a Hersir pops out here as well. Little bits of damage to come in to try and finish off those Prometheans. Will he get one? Looks like the answer is no. A great haul now queued up as well for Matador. It's really challenging to get this one up. It takes a long time to build in the early stages of the game, but he needs that one very, very quickly. More Hersir coming through into the main base here. The temple actually just coming back. Kvoth says, no. Rush is over. He's gotten himself 9 Promethean offspring, which are really, really good raiders. He keeps them all alive, and he's going for a town center. Incredibly unexpected. Very rare to see this. But Matador, I don't think he took that much damage here. He gets away with a 3 armory upgrade, archaic age, very small amount of damage suffered, The Ox card is a little bit confused about where he wants to be standing, as Kvoth does fix that one up. Now, Kvoth will be on 2 town centers. The question is going to be, will Matador know what's happening? Now, it is pretty obvious. For us, we've seen it, but also for Matador, that something is not quite right here. Where are the units? Why aren't I being attacked? You're giving me all the time in the world. Something has to be happening here. The only 2 options that Kvoth has is either A, Heroic Age, or B, a second town center. As a raiding cavalry coming through, and they will be spotting this. There's the villagers over onto this side. No forest fire, but a little bit of damage to come through. The villagers can either just get heroized with valor. No problems. Oftentimes, it's actually best to try and actually kill off the hero citizen rather than a non-hero citizen. As counterintuitive as that is. As the attack comes in, and Kvoth, smartly so, says, excuse me, I am going to be sending 8 Promethean offsprings into position here, and they are not spotted at all. Unsuspecting villagers over here. Obviously wants the town center down as soon as possible. And now Kvoth says, it's go time. As he runs the Promethean offspring in, Matador reacts quickly, but is it too little too late? Answer is no, he's completely fine. He gets back in. The Promethean offspring are out of here. But this is exactly what Matador wants. Sure, 2 town centers up first for Kvoth, but a couple of minutes behind isn't the biggest of deals because you're already in front by around about a minute of villager time when you've got the armory, and then an extra minute of armory time when you get the next upgrades in and all the other good stuff, right? So long as he gets it up relatively quickly here, he's completely fine. That being said, there is still the problem of how do I beat Promethean, Caraballister, Catapulti as Thor? What's the answer? Some form of goaty Huskal composition. Raiding cavalry, obviously going to be good to put pressure on as he runs straight in. The village is going to be dashing through the manor here as a hero oracle. Getting caught out. One raiding cavalry gets sniped. Is up to the top side here. Going to try and just get little bits of damage in. As he does manage to catch the villagers. One villager over here does end up going down. Nice snipe there. As that's what Matador needs. He's got these units. He needs to get some of this stuff in. Meanwhile, villagers happily coming over here. We do have a stray Terma that does spot the town center. So he knows. Well, now Kvoth knows he's not facing an all-in. So it's going to be more of a macro game. He's confirmed that. He's going to be happy about that one, I imagine. Is where to next for Matador is the big question. There's all these Promethean offspring coming back in. And it looks like Kvoth says, hey, you've gone 2 town centers, no problems, let's go Heroic Age. Heroic Age also makes some sense because you can go straight into Satyr, or you can opt into Rhea here and go for some pretty strong infantry units if he wants to. So Caraballister just very scarily positioned. You don't want to be losing that one. Village just getting sent back home. And it will be Hyperion. No surprises here from Kvoth. Again, another bit of a landmine for Norse to have to deal with is going to be Chaos plus those Satyr. Really, really strong. What Matador could do here, if he feels this is coming, is he can go into a lot of Herser, and then he can make himself out a huge amount of trolls. Or he can go into Battle Boar or something like that. Obviously, then you're going to be having issues. There's actually just a lot of issues here in general for Thor. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, this is really, really challenging here. As Matador doing a great job with these raids. Gets in. Good control from Kvoth, though. Good reaction. Pulls back. Going to get back to safety. Kvoth does have himself that upgrade survival equipment, so his villagers aren't going to be going down easily in the slightest. There's a market coming through for Matador. He's been running around trying to get these raids off, but he hasn't really figured out, I don't think at this point, that this was a heroic age coming in. He was a little bit late on his advance time, as we see a palace getting dropped down. All of the barracks over here are up. The raiding cavalry do get spotted over here. They're trying to get out of this position, but there's no way out. Kvoth has done this so well throughout this tournament. I've seen him do it a couple of times where he's just positions his base in a way that if you want to poke your head in there, no worries, but you're not going to get out. As the palace is now up, Kvoth is getting himself a big lead. However, a smart move here from Matador. Matador says, ooh, you went Hyperion. Where's the pushing power? How are you going to kill me? As he says, 3 town center, Skadi, Hall of Thanes, villagers finished up over here. He can just go over onto wood. Remember the composition we were talking about before. Goaty, Huskal. It still rings true. However, you've got to be careful based on what your opponent's making, because this is going to be Contarius, this is going to be Murmillo. You still need to make yourself throw an Axeman, maybe even some Herbman as well. As the army charging in here, with a grand total of 9 Murmillo, the Catapult is not really that strong. Going to be a bit tricky to actually take this position out. So he does decide to pull back. It's up onto the top side. Little bits of raid still coming through, but good defense from Kvoth so far. The villager differential still very close. Meanwhile, over here, we've got the Gemini technology to come in to boost up those Satyr. One thing that Kvoth has not done in this game yet is not get himself oracles out. So he is very, very far behind on favor. As he drops the chaos down, going to be taking out a lot of these throwing axemen. But Matador can retreat back, regroup. He can frost this, no problems. Get himself out a bigger army. He's taking the fight. No frost down just yet. I don't think he can win this fight. There's so many units here for Kvoth at the moment. He's trying his best to just get some snipes in. That's good garrison micro. And I guess the awareness for Matador to just hold off on that frost for a little bit longer is a good one. Goaty now coming through. Throwing Axeman, Goaty. Hersir. Maybe some Berserk, maybe some Herdman. There's a Fortress coming up in the face of Kvoth. A little bit slow to react to that one as the Frost does get dropped down. All the units here now, they are blocked up. And as you attack, expand, he says. However, the raiding cavalry are over here. He's going to be able to win this fight. He's going to be able to deny the town center as well. Meanwhile, on the back here, some longhouses to come in an attempt to block off the retreat. It takes about 30 seconds to get a longhouse up, but he's got so many units here. And then a wall over here to just lock this all in. Maybe another longhouse on this side. And the town center over here denied. Villagers getting cleaned up over here. Matador playing an incredibly well executed, good defense here thus far. As the trolls, is there enough military here though is the question. There are enough heroes as he's coming in. Nice little attack there onto the throw an axeman onto the back there. Another Satyr goes down. The Frost Giant freezes one Satyr. One more Satyr remaining as it's now gone. This one on the back going to be going down as well. Differential in military population. It's very close in terms of the resource value. As we do see a deconstruction down onto the hill fort there. Huge amount of favor in the bank right now for Matador, however, as it looks to me like he will be holding for the time being. As the Satyr goes down and Kvoth needs to pull back. Meanwhile, a palace up for Kvoth. Over here, we've got the winter harvest coming in. Lots and lots of Goaty over onto this spot. More great hauls coming down as well for Matador. He's not out of the woodworks just yet. The town center on here is going up as a raiding cavalry are trying to sprint into action. 17 seconds on that settlement. We'll see if he can get up there and deny it. As he gets the cavalry in, but is it too little too late? It looks like it will be. The damage is not going to be in. The town center will be up here for Kvoth. He picks off one citizen and Matador off to the next adventure, so to speak. His farms are up all over the place now for Matador. A little check on the economic upgrades. A couple missing here for Kvoth. Missing that irrigation, missing that bow saw on the other side here. Matador is grabbing himself the bow saw, gets himself winter harvest. As a raiding cavalry slipping in onto this position, looking for someone to kill. There is a nice oracle over here. Kvoth pays attention, gets that one to safety. Meanwhile, a hill fort up onto this side, but a little bit too late as the Contarius will be in to get some damage done. Meanwhile, while that's going on, pushes in onto this position as well. Easier defense here is just to convert a whole bunch of dwarves to come over and just defend this one, but it doesn't look like Matador's paid attention just yet. Right now, Kvoth missing his heavy upgrades on those Arcus. They really aren't that strong until you can... Well, when you get the mass, they're actually pretty good, but you definitely need that heavy Arcus in as soon as you possibly can. Meanwhile, over here, the Ox Cart gets sniped down. Dwarf goes down. No reaction. There we go. There's the conversion of Berserks over here to deal with the Contarius while attacking up to this side. So Kvoth not paying attention will lose those Contarius there. As the Goaty throwing Axeman going at it. The thing is here, throwing Axeman with Huntress Axe, these guys, it's 5.4 hack damage per second. But when you take a look at the actual armor of these guys, they've got 76, 76. So it's actually kind of equal. But nonetheless, they're still doing a hefty amount of damage. Are they actually equal? They are. I'm actually surprised on that. I think the throw and axe will still lose versus the Arcus, but even with the Huntress Axe, but it does make them much more effective. As the hill fort does get up over here, Atlas is now queued up. That's going to be coming through as Kvoth does manage to get to the Mythic Age first here. Huge amounts of resources in the bank for Matador as he's going to be dropping another longhouse down. Raids up onto the top side. Jarl raids here. You can't turn around and fight Jarls. These are like the Norse knights, so to speak. Huge amounts of HP. Very rare to see that, especially with Forseti. Balder? Surely he's trolling. Is this going to be the first Balder pick? It is the first Balder pick here for Matador. Why is he doing this? Well, one reason could be he needs fire giants. Or he wants fire giants. There's all of these heavy Arcus. How do you kill them off? Well, you just make yourself 3 fire giants and you're good to go. Look at all the favor in the bank. Another reason could be he legitimately thinks a Ragnarok here will just absolutely dominate this army, which Kvoth's got. Great hauls up onto the top side as Matador has managed to spam buildings out all over the place. But with Atlas coming through, I mean, Ragnarok obviously doesn't do anything versus Atlas because you lose like all the HP. You could run back for the healing spray, I guess. Put 2 healing springs down into the same position, and then you get all the HP back in a couple of seconds. That's 1 cheeky little Murmillo up, or 2 Murmillos, 3 Murmillos, a destroyer up on this top position. We do have a couple of portable rams coming in. Just look at the destroyers getting huge damage done, but they will end up getting sniped here. This Matador is actually falling a little bit to this pressure from Kvoth. The portable rams can't make it forward. We've got a couple of heavy fanatics now coming in. Really, really good against those berserks. They can get onto the throw and axe, obviously good there as well. There's a hill fort over here, starting to fall down. Over onto this side, the portable ram does fall. We've got to have the dwarven mines now coming in. The fire giants are in. We've got, here's the idea, Sons of Sleipnir plus champion cavalry should mean death to the Arcus. However, what Kvoth can do now is he can make fanatic or he can make catapulties, and it's going to be really tough, but there's also going to be the problem of implode. As Argus coming up to the top side, you love to see it. We do have Matador noticing this, retreating away. Big damage to come in. As Kvoth breaking through everything. Great Hall going down. Town Center now going Kvoth's wayside. Kvoth's economy here seemingly falling off a cliff. Sorry, Matador's economy falling off a cliff. He got huge amounts of food, but the gold and the wood situation is a little bit dire. Town Center going Kvoth's wayside isn't necessarily a victory, but it is the first step towards sealing the game here. There's still some options for Matador as he's trying to take out this top position. Legendary Jarl in. These guys also do get that Sons of Sleipnir technologies. Chaos gets dropped down. And the army of Arcus to slowly make their way up here. Matador also missing some houses. He's just trying to build them back up. I believe he can go up to 210 pop. Yes, he can. Still a house to be built. The town center for Kvoth is nearly dead. He doesn't have quite full population here either. So if there's a time to fight, it is right now. Meanwhile, over onto this side, however, huge attack. One thing here that Matador should be thinking about is just full berserks on all of these units to try and hold this. And he clicks Rag! Full berserks is not his idea. He clicks Rag to hold the town center. How many gold mines are left? There's 2,000 gold over here. There's no gold for Kvoth. This is the gold mine. This is the gold mine. He's got 2,000 here. There is an implode. 74 HP left on the Ragnarok Heroes. Yeah, that's a problem. But you've got Frost. You've got Healing Spring. What can you do? You can click Healing Spring and Frost on a location. By the time the Frost is over, those Heroes of Ragnarok are going to be back up to close to full HP. There is an angle here for Matador. He has an overwhelming military advantage. All of the units did get picked off. The Arcus are down. The Fanatic, not that many. But these units need to get over here and kill off this gold mine as soon as possible. There is a trade route. As Vortex dropped in, not Vortex, Implode, dropped in over onto this position here. Town Center will get denied, but that's only half of the population there, or of the army of Matador. And also behind this, there's a huge amount of resources for Matador as well. This is attacking forward over here. Got to be careful. Those fanatics are really strong. But I think there is an overwhelming amount of units here, so they will get taken out. 68 population for Kvoth. Huge amounts of Arcus queued up into the main base. He is swarming these units. Kvoth can't hold here. And he taps out. Ragnarok. Ragnarok. What a finish here from Matador. Kvoth just not enough income, not a good implode. Just could not quite get into a position to hold himself here alive. Could not get the units out. Didn't have the Arabus that you need to take out the Rag heroes. He was making Arcus. He had to deal with Jarls and Heroes of Ragnarok, where he probably needed to make some sort of a transition into Fanatic Catapulti Carabalista or something like that. I don't even know. But Matador gets in here and says, you know what's a good god power? A god power that gives me a 16,000 military unit advantage. He says, that's a great idea. Let's go for that. One question is upgrades. Nearly all the upgrades there for Matador, and for Kvoth, he did not have many at all. Anyways, well, that's what we wanted. Forsker game 5 here. Matador versus Kvoth. 1 game remaining. Let's get into it. Game number 5. For all the marbles, or at least for the probability of being number 1 in the group, an incredible advantage in this tournament. It means you skip round 1 of the playoffs. You go directly to round 2. That is a huge advantage. Both players this series battling incredibly well for their chance at eternal glory. Left side of the map, Kvoth, Zeus. Right side of the map, Matador, Loki. Map, Arabus. This is not a simple matchup for either god. There's lots of ways for this to go south from the Zeus side of things. There's lots of ways for this to go south for the Loki side of things. There are some incredibly big power spikes for Loki in this matchup. Flaming weapons, Nidhogg. There are some incredibly big power spikes for Zeus in this matchup. Restoration, Bronze, Lightning Storm. It's going to take a lot of skill here to convert this win. We're on the map Arabus. Unique parts about this map. Well, these bad boys are out to make your life a little bit annoying. Berserk running forward. Will, almost going to notice this. He can't do anything about it, but he could notice that Kvoth's out into the middle of the map. I really like this opening here from Kvoth, actually. This is something that more and more we're going to start seeing. However, I don't know if I like it versus Loki. The reason is, if this gets spotted, all of a sudden the Loki player is just going to go for immediate 3 or 4 Herser at 4 minutes, and then you're going to be herding over onto this position here. He's just going to run in with Herser a la the Titans, the legacy meta. Charge in, gets a little bit of damage done. Sure, the hunt's mostly going to be gone by then. You're probably not going to lose any villages. Maybe you lose 1. It's a long way back home. You probably have to bolt a Herser rather than bolting, say, a Battle Ball later in the game. But if they don't see it, which Matador has yet to, then there's no reason for Matador to be there. He's going to expect Kvoth to be in his base. So a little bit of a risky move. Actually, let's just see what he's saying. Yeah, a little bit of a risky move from Kvoth, but I think it's going to be able to, I think it's going to pay itself off with dividends. Now, let's check out as well. What else is happening? Matador, hand axe, pickaxe opening. Because why not? Kvoth, on the other hand, hand axe, pickaxe opening. These guys are playing their own meta here. They are playing their literal own meta. This game, Age of Mythology Retold, has evolved from 315 rushes as the standard on opening to 4-minute 45 advances for Loki with hand axe pickaxe to Kvoth going for a 5-minute advance time through Athena with all of his archaic upgrades. Now let's ask the question, why? Why? Well, the reason is for Zeus on the one hand is Zeus doesn't really have any early game timings. Jason and Heracles are pretty good, but they get kind of killed off nice and quickly. You don't want to give favor over to the Loki player anyways. The Loki player's also got Healing Spring. That's a big problem. Right? So following on from that, if there's no early game timings, why am I rushing to get units out? Why not take it slow, advance a little later, get the extra resources that we need, and go from there. Nonetheless, Great Hall coming up for Matador over here. He's got himself the Longhouse. He's got himself the Temple. Military Academy coming through for Kvoth. 2 military academies on the way. That's Pelt of Argus going to be coming in. A nice upgrade there. A nice relic. And Matador is just going to be pumping out units. And I guess the plan here for Kvoth is just he wants to get to a large amount of population, get a good fight, to click restoration in that Matador can't deal with. But this does give the Loki player all the time in the world to set up, which is a good thing for Loki here. And you can see how many resources Kvoth has got in the bank. Like, he literally could have dropped 2 military academies, 2 archery ranges, be pumping units out from the get-go. As the hoplites do manage to get on top of a berserk here with a little bit of animation cancelling. He might not even need to. He's going to be able to snipe this one off. In actuality, no, the hoplites move faster than the berserk. As it looks like Matador has spotted what was going on here in the early stage of the game. The berserk gets away with 5 HP. Archery range now coming down for Kvoth as well. But there's still like all of this hunt inside the main base right now. A huge amount. There's a hoplites swinging up to the top side. Maybe going to look for some sort of a raid. If he can get all the way around here and hit these villages, that's going to be really, really strong. He's got this speed advantage for the time being. No, he doesn't. Never mind. Hall of Fames is in. 5.3 speed. 6 speed on the raiding cavalry. Throw an axeman to come back and defend. Almost as if Matador knows what is potentially coming for him here. An armory getting dropped down in the back of the base. Still producing some units, but there's still so much food in the main base. Chicken's getting eaten, but with the building positioning that Kvoth's done here, he's going to have a little bit of problems with walking time. And I think it might be the best idea here for Matador to either just rush straight to the Heroic Age, go straight to the Mythic Age, and call it a day right now. Because if you get to the Mythic Age here, all of a sudden the scary unit, which Matador has to deal with, is the Peltast. If you get to the Mythic Age nice and quickly against the Peltast, then all of a sudden you get the Nidhogg. And the Nidhogg, while the heroes are really good against it, with good micro, you can clean up a lot. Kvoth is going to have to play a really nice game to survive against that, given the way that he's playing this one. There is a really nice gold mine over here as well. There's gold mines all over the place. Getting the walls up in the center of the map as well. There's just the tiniest bits of damage here to come through for Matador does mean he gets a lot of extra favor, and we are going to be seeing Njord. I love this. What's the issue that Loki has to deal with moving forward in this game? A Paspist and Peltast. How do I deal with a Paspist and Peltast? Ring Giver Jarls. Ring Giver Jarls are going to be really, really key here. Throwing Axeman, Ring Giver Jarls. What do you do if you're Kvoth against that? Hoplites are also going to be a thing, but throwing Axeman to deal with those. However, Apollo on the way here for Kvoth. That's scary because there's going to be underworld passages all over the place. There's going to be the Pegasus floating over here. Katoskopos over here. Units charging into the main base, trying to get scouting information, trying to see everything. Matador does have himself the technology eyes of the forest. So when he runs through, he gets to see everything for quite a while here. But he will get denied on the retreat. That's the Hoplite in hot pursuit. Matador pulls back, and we'll see if he can get something up in the center of the map here to get going. Healing Spring drop down. He knows Underworld Passage can come in at any point. The Pegasus over here, spotting the villagers. Matador says, I'm not dealing with this. Let me get out of here. A hill fort to get dropped down. There is Walking Woods. There's so many units here. If Kvoth wants to hit this attack right now, he could be doing exactly what Matador did to him in game number 3, where it went really south, Set versus Ra, and he decides against it. No Underworld Passage into his death for the time being. You also have to remember, Kvoth's got an amazing back gold mine here. Absolutely amazing. Manticores coming out. There's 3. He's been hiding them. There are a hefty amount of Hersa, but no Goaty just yet. One thing here that Matador could do is also Jotuns. Really, really powerful. Underworld Passage into the main base. He says, I don't care about your hill fort. I don't care about your healing spring. The Walking Woods gets dropped. The town center going down. Hoplites kill this off so absurdly fast as the army charges in. Hersa on top of the Manticle. Good control there from Kvoth to dodge as he says, kill the town center and bail. He doesn't lose. Oh, he pops back out. He says, I want to keep fighting. Bolts the mountain giant. Clicks the restoration. Is this going to be enough? He's stuck in here now as the Hersa dive in on top of the Manticore. There's not that many Peltas for these throwing axemen. One Manticore remaining over here will end up going down. One Manticore over here to get more damage in. The spread formation from Matador absolutely huge as the population for Kvoth is dropping incredibly fast. Minotaur goes down. Hoplites retreating away. And it looks to me like Kvoth loses that fight. He bails out onto this side. Matador wins on the favor. He wins on the trade. But he's down in town center. He is down at town center. The Peltas now queued up. Matador needs town centers back immediately. Kvoth has got a huge villager advantage right now as well. This is roughly 600 resources a minute. He's behind how many resources? A town center? That's an extra minute that he gets. So he's going to be able to get back up and then a little bit more. And he's getting further in front on villages while this town center is not back up. As Matador says, let's get the home town center as the unit of, as the one of choice there. Raiding cavalry, moving across the map. Walls coming up for Matador here as well. There is an availability of another walking woods here as well. Another walking woods here could be huge. Farm starting to come down as Kvoth has to make this farm transition happen immediately. As the town center is back up, and after all is said and done, damage accounted for, there is a 15 villager differential. Another great haul to come down. No restoration, however. The favor isn't there. He's got 5 villagers on it, but it's going to be coming in pretty quick. No restoration. Availability of another walking woods. No heroes. 1 Odysseus, excuse me. Wait, let's have a look. 1 Odysseus, 1 Jason somewhere. As the raiding cavalry get pushed back. Godi coming through. The army of Matador is looking vicious here. Farms are up. Both players struggling for food. As now the army moving forward. Kvoth does not need to take a fight. He needs to hide inside of his base. He's got himself a tower here. Walking woods dropped. A huge advantage to come in as the Manticore, however, getting on top of those throwing axemen there. The Peltas not targeting just yet. Now finally starting to move in as the micro from Matador to come through, trying to get these dodges in as the front line melts there. The hoplites are all taken out. A troll spawn on the back here. Flings that rock in, hits a huge amount of the Peltas as he dives through the tower to get back to safety. There's 1,000 resource advantage right now in military for Matador. Is it enough or not is the big question. The Odysseus takes down that troll there as well. As Matador knows he needs to make something happen. He's pushing in really nicely as the Odysseus goes down. There's 82 favor in the bank now for Matador as well. But no resources to do anything with it. He's got to pull back. Keeping Kvoth in the heroic age here is very, very big. Because once this gold mine is gone, he's going to have to move forward. And this is going to be the fight that matters. Manticore's still getting trained, so no extra restoration to try and win that fight. The fight that matters is going to be after 3,000 gold is expired. Matador should not go for this town center. He should be placing a hill fort on this position immediately, walling up the entirety of the map like he has to deny villagers movement, and go for a huge gold staff here. Full population, full send, but he goes for the town center. The safer play to some degree. I have omniscience. I get to make the right call. Matador doesn't know. Minotaur's coming out. Hoplites. Peltast. Matador knows that this is what's happening, so he can make Huskal. He's got the Godi. The town center as well will give extra population if he can get up to that 190 is a big deal. He grabs the relic. 9 cauldrons to boost up those Huskal even more. I love it. Hoplites managing to push out, killing off a raiding cavalry over here. Kvoth's got to be panicking to some degree. He's got to get out of his base. He's got to get this position. Matador's given him a window to put up a fortress or something here, but he's not taking it. As the army comes around onto this side, trying to poke, trying to see. And there's the fortress that we're talking about. This is what Kvoth needs. He needs to get out. He needs to get this position secured. That movement there from Kvoth makes Matador move back. And all of a sudden, there is an opportunity for Kvoth to get this position under control, and he's going to be okay. But just because he gets this position under control does not mean he is in the driver's seat. He's still in a tricky position. Now it's 2 town center to 1 town center. Matador will have caught up. Armory upgrade situation. Copper weapons coming through. Over on the other side, nearly full copper. As Matador pulls back, he does have himself out a mountain giant. 2 mountain giants. No Jotuns. But they're strong, nonetheless. A great tank to take down a potential fortress as well. But how does he deal with those Peltast? He's got the Cav. He's got the Huskar. He charges forward. Nearly 175 population in for Kvoth right now. And this is a great choke point for Kvoth to take. Matador could delete the Great Hall. Could be an option to get over onto those Peltas. He doesn't want to. The Peltas taking down the backline incredibly quickly. The Thrown Axeman not able to do the same against these hoplites. Can Matador hold here or not is the big question. All the Myth units surviving for a really long time here as the Goatee trying to finish off the Bull Minotaur, but just not able to do so. Matador gets himself a Valkyrie spawn. He's now down to 112 population. His military is struggling here as the units just simply put cannot get through this army. However, the hoplites falling. There is still an Odysseus. There is a Jason. There is a Heracles. The Myth units will go down and Matador needs to retreat back and rebuild back up. A tense moment now as Kvoth has to be thinking, I got to get a town center, right? Or does he just go to the Mythic Age? What could he afford? He's got himself 13 farms only. That's not enough to get himself anywhere. He is so strapped for resources here, for economy. His economy, while he's got 67 villages, it just feels so weak. He's missing all those heroic upgrades. On the other side, Matador has himself Bowsaw. He does not have himself the Shaft Mine. He does not have himself, or he's getting himself those upgrades or pre-queuing them. And yet again, Matador says it's time to take the fight. The Peltas to clean up the backline over here. As the Jarls are onto the backline of Peltas, but too little. Too late. Trying to take out those Petropolis to survive just a little bit longer. But it doesn't matter. 1 Petropolis left. Huskar going down. And I'm not sure Matador is going to be able to get an army back out here in time. His resources, I mean, he's got the resources. He's got the gold mine at the back. He's moving up onto this one. This wall is about to go down. The hill fort's about to fall as well, which is the sticking building of this whole position. So much favor in the bank at the moment, but not spending it. What can he use it for? Another great haul up onto the back as Matador valiantly attempting to get himself back into this game. Kvoth still hasn't dropped himself a second town center. It's full send on this army and hope. However, there's about to be another restoration. It could be room for a second healing spring on a position here to try and hold as well, though, mind you. Matador needs to wait. There's no need to be taking a fight just yet. He's pushing forward. He's got himself 90 pop. He's got the healing spring to help support. Restoration is 2 favor away, and I'm sure Kvoth will drop this as soon as he possibly can, as there he goes. Matador needs to pull back. He's got the favor for another healing spring if he wants to use it. It does stack as he charges back in. A rock giant spawn is gigantic though. He charges in, hits half of those units. The throwing axeman on the back, getting targeted down by peltasts. And Kvoth needs to retreat back. Kvoth needs to retreat back. That rock giant just changed everything. Everything. But Matador, he can't overchase here. He doesn't need to. But he's charging in nonetheless. The rock giant to come forward. Drops. Does he have the special? Not just yet. He will though. He drops it onto all of the units. However, Kvoth with the garrison micro still has got his peltast on the back line to get that damage done. But that line of units is falling. Matador breaking through. The raiding cavalry riding in. The great rock giant has fallen, however, and Matador says, we got to pull back. The next win in this position, I would say, is a gold mine, but Kvoth is now Mythic Age. Kvoth is now Mythic Age. Yet again, Matador is going to need to rebuild an army. Matador charging in, trying to get something to happen here. He's got all the units queued up as if he knows. How many buildings does he have? He's got 5. He's got 10. He charges in. The Mythic Age comes. The Lightning Storm is in. I don't think Matador can even run here. He's just going to sit, try and get some trades, and then rebuild. As now he says, okay, time to pull. As he drops down. But, I mean, the thing is, he's got such an economic advantage here. He's easily going to be able to rebuild these units. On the other hand, Kvoth is struggling. He's got 72, but he doesn't have the town center. He's got only 162, like I guess 90 population he can use. Bellerophon is out though immediately. Looking for raids immediately. He's going to take out so many villages down there. Matador could convert into berserks here and defend this, no problems. Deal with that Bellerophon with all of those villages getting converted. Matador trying to take a fight yet again onto this position. Not a good fight, though, with those throwing axemen. As he does drop the Walking Woods over here, however, to attempt some extra assistance. The Bellerophon called back in to support. As more Jarls crashing in onto this position. The front line of hoplites is the problem. Once that falls, the Jarls will go to town on those peltasts. They also take out the Medusa as well, mind you. As he's trying to push forward, we see an Ida respawn. Can he get the horn off in time? Answer is yes. As the army here at a little bit of a standstill. But he does manage to break through. The Medusa down. The Peltast pulling back. Bellerophon coming through yet again. As Matador still trying to break it. He's got so many units queued up. He could consider a Mythic Age here by cancelling all those units. On the bottom side, Hoplites killing off the villagers. The gold mine situation is dire for Kvoth. He's moving forward. He wants this position. Does he not know there's a gold mine at the bottom of the map? Yes, he does. Matador still trying to break through the center here. As a fortress to come down. The units, however, they're quickly over here. Matador knows how important this position must be to Kvoth. He is going to be taking out a huge amount of villagers. Kvoth is on one town center here. Kvoth is on one town center. What can he do? More villagers getting taken out. The throwing axemen moving over here. But the fortress will finish. But will this be enough? I don't think it will be. There's a huge amount of units on this position. And the fortress for Kvoth with 14 villagers garrisoned in 0 gold income. Heracles coming out. Desperation. 190 pop to 110. What can Kvoth do at this point? He's got himself a handful of hoplites, a handful of peltast, and a dream. No favor in the bank for another lightning storm. Hell has been clicked up as well. A Nidhogg gonna need to be dealt with, plus fire giants, plus frost giants if he wants to. As a bolt comes down onto one big fat mountain giant there. More units coming over for Matador. He's got all the thrown axemen in the world to deal with these hoplites. Every single fight from Kvoth has been fought in a choke point. But the problem here for Kvoth is he doesn't have any gold, but he does find a gold mine down the bottom. But Matador is in such a commanding position. It's 66 villages to 100. It's 80 population to 190. And Kvoth taps out. Matador somehow, some way manages to find the victory, find the win, and claim the series in 5 games. What an insane series, an insane game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Age of Mythology. If you don't like this, you don't like Age of Mythology. What a time to be alive. Congratulations to Matador. Kvoth is still in the tournament. Do not fret. This is group stage action. We will see more of this. But that's the game's done for today. GG's, well played. And we'll see you in the next one.